Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome to Sew with Mediva. And if you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you for sticking to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to cut and sew this stylish bustier crop top. This is what the back of the top looks like, and I achieved this style using only 1 yard of Ankara fabric. So if it's something you're interested in, make sure you keep watching and make sure you watch till the end so that you don't miss out on any detail. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. So I made use of only 1 yard of Ankara fabric for this style, and I have my other sewing materials here. So we're going to draft on the pattern paper first before we transfer to the fabric for more accuracy of measurement. So we're starting with the front panel, and I've folded my pattern paper into two. So I've marked my basic vertical measurements. I'm going to show you guys how I came about that. So the first line here is the shoulder line, and from my shoulder to my bust point is 11 inches. From my shoulder to my half length is 16 inches, and the full length of this top is 20 inches, as you can see. So I'll come over to this shoulder line now and place your shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. So mine is 8 inches. I'll go ahead to mark it there, and then from that 8 inches come down by your round armhole measurement divided by 2. So mine is 9 inches, but I'm going to take out 1.5 inches for it because I don't want the armhole area too opened. So I'll mark 7.5 inches. You can take out 1 inch from yours depending on how open you want that place to be, and then go ahead to extend the lines this way. So let's go ahead to label the lines we drew. So this is the bust line, this is the half length, and this is the full length. So I added half an inch to the full length for turning over with the lining. So the next thing to do is to mark the neckline. So for the neckline, I worked with 3 inches for the wideness. So you can make yours wider if you want. So I work with 3 inches, and then for the depth of the neckline for the front panel, I also worked with 3 inches. So I'll go ahead to connect the points. So go ahead to form the neckline. I'm going to use my curve ruler to connect the points together. So this is my neckline, and then I'll come over to this armhole line and come down by 1 inch to form my shoulder slope. So I'll use my rulers to connect the points together. So the next thing to do is to place the dart measurements. So before we place the darts, let's go ahead to mark the armhole. Come over to this line and mark the midpoint. So mine is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 3.5 inches there. And then on this chest line, go ahead to place your round bust measurements divided by 4. So mine is 10.5 inches. And then come over to this midpoint and come in by 0.5 inches. And then use your curved ruler to connect the 3 points together from the shoulder points down to the chest line this way. So let's go ahead now to place the darts. So to get the dart line, divide your nipple to nipple measurements by 2. So mine is 4 inches. I'm going to mark 4 inches on the bust line and also mark it on the half length. So before I connect the points, I'm going to extend this chest line. So this is where we're going to have the bustier on the sides. This is where the bustier on the side is going to start. So after extending the line, I'm going to mark that same 4 inches on the line. So whatever you get when you divide your nipple to nipple by 2, mark it on the lines, and then go ahead to connect all the points together. So after connecting, I'm going to come over to this shoulder area and measure what I have there. So whatever you have there, divide it into 2. So I have 5 inches there. I'm going to divide it into 2 to get 2.5 inches. And then I'll come over to this dart line and come in by 1 inch towards the center front. 1 inch is fine, and then connect that 1 inch now down to meet the midpoint of the shoulder area. So after connecting, this is what we have. So the next thing we want to do is to place the over bust tightening. So I'm going to come over to this line and take 0.5 inches on both sides. So this top is not going to have an under bust tightening, but I'll suggest that if you're making a dress with this style, you need to mark your under bust measurement and have your under bust tightening. I hope you guys understand. So I'm going to just go ahead to connect the points this way. So this is what we have. So the next thing we want to do is to place the round body measurements. So come over to the chest line and place your round bust measurements divided by 4 and add this 1 inch for the darts. So I'm going to mark 11.5 inches for mine. I'll mark 11.5 inches there. And then on the bust line, I'm going to mark that same 11.5 inches. So on the waistline, go ahead to mark your round waist measurement divided by 4, and then add half an inch or 1 inch for ease, because since there is no under bust tightening, you don't want that place to look too tight so that it won't make the chest area flat. So then come over to the full length and mark your round hip measurements divided by 4. And then after marking, go ahead to connect all the points together from the chest line down to the bust line and then to the full length of the top. So after connecting, I'm going to go ahead and add my seam allowance of 1.5 inches. So I'll add 1.5 inches all the way down and then go ahead to connect the points together. So after doing that, the next thing we want to do is to cut it out. So after cutting the front panel, we're going to use it to cut out the back. So I won't be opening up the dart area yet. I'll just cut out the neckline, take the shoulder slope, and then use it to cut out the back panel. So to cut out the back, I've gone ahead to place the front panels on the back on another pattern paper that is in a fold of 2. So the back is going to have a zipper of 1.5 inches and the neckline of the back is going to be 2 inches, not 3 inches, the depth of the neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it this way. And then on the back, I'm going to eliminate 0.5 inches from the zipper allowance on the waistline area. So I'll take it from the closed angle. I'll take 1 inch from the closed angle this way, and then I'm left with 0.5 inches there. So I'll slant that 0.5 inches up this way and also slant it down to meet the hip line, the full length of the top. So we're going to be cutting out that part. So this is going to help your top sit very well at the back. This is very important. So after doing that, I'm going to separate the front from the back and then mark the same thing we have on the front, like the bust line, the waistline, and the full length. I'll mark it on the back panel and then I'll take that as well, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after marking the measurements I have on the front, on the back panel also, this is what it looks like. But for the darts, I didn't come down as much as I did with the front panel. I just did it slightly at the upper bust. So we're going to go ahead now to cut out this part of the pattern. We'll be cutting out that part. Let me just go ahead to shade it. So go ahead now to cut this part out and open up the dart area. And open up the dart area. So when I'm done with that, I'll cut out that same part on the back panel. So this is me cutting out the back panel. So I'll open up the dart area as well and then cut out the zipper bulge allowance, the half an inch. You cut it out. So after cutting it out, let's go ahead to label them. So I'll use this now to cut on my fabric, and when I cut on my fabric, I'll add half an inch on these dart areas. I'll add half an inch to this upper part for joining my lining, to turn over my lining. I'll add to this side. I'll do the same thing for the front panel. I'll add half an inch to the shoulder areas for joining, but I'll need the neckline just the way it is. So let's go ahead to cut out the fabric. So I've gone ahead to use my patterns to cut out my fabric, and this is what we have. So like I said earlier, I'll be leaving the neckline without any allowance. I'm going to turn it over that way because it's already high, but I added half an inch on all the other sides. This is for joining the dart areas together. I added to the side front as well, and to the upper part for turning over with my lining. I hope you guys understand. I did the same thing for the back. I added my allowance all the way around it. I left the neckline without any allowance. So let's go ahead to remove the pattern paper so that we can start joining the fabrics. So after I took out the pattern papers, this is what we have. So I also cut out lining pieces for each of the fabric. So you can iron your hairstay on the fabric and on the pattern paper for more stability. So the next thing we want to do is to join the fabrics together. So to join them, go ahead to place your fabrics right sides facing each other, and then using that half an inch we added while we were cutting on the fabric, go ahead to join it all the way from this upper part. Go ahead to stitch it down together all the way down. Now when I'm done with that, I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'll place them right sides facing each other and stitch it all the way down. So whatever you are doing on your fabric, you're going to do it on your lining. So join the 3 lining pieces together just the way you did with the fabric, and do the same thing for the back panel. So I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. So after joining the pieces of fabrics together, this is what it looks like. So this is the bust area. So I also did the same thing for the lining pieces. I'll join them together. So the next thing is to place them right sides facing each other. So once you use the lining to turn it over, and starting from the neckline, I'm going to go ahead and stitch it down all the way. I'll come over to this side. I'll stitch it down using that half an inch we added to the fabric. Go ahead to close up all the sides all the way down. I'll close up the other side. So I'll leave one side opened. I'll close up the base as well. So I'll leave a part of the side opened for turning over. So let me go ahead to do that and show you guys. So after stitching down the lining to the fabric, this is what we have. So I left a bit of space on one side for turning over, and I've also repeated the same thing I did on the front to the back panels. I joined the pieces together and I used my lining to stitch down on the right side. So before you turn it over, you're going to notch the neckline area. You're going to notch the seam area this way. So this is going to help it relax when you turn it over to the right side. And come over to this edge and also notch this side. Notch this way all the way down. So when I'm done with that, I'm going to just use this part to turn it over. So after I turned over both the front and back panels, this is what it looks like, and this is what the wrong side looks like. So you can see how neat it came out after we turned it over. So these are the back panels. So the next thing we want to do is to join the front and the back panels together. I'm going to place them on each other, right sides facing each other this way. And then I'll go ahead to use the remaining 1 inch seam allowance to join the sides together. Remember, we already used half an inch to turn over the lining, so we are left with just 1 inch for the seam allowance. So I'll close up this side and also close up the other side. I'll stitch the shoulders down using the half an inch, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after joining the shoulder areas and closing up the sides, this is what it looks like. So the last and final thing we want to do is to insert the zipper, and this is the zipper I'll be working with. So we have 1 inch left for our zipper allowance, because we already used half an inch to turn over with the lining. So I'm going to place the zipper on it this way, and then I will stitch it all the way down. I'll do the same thing for the other side when I'm done, making sure the part of the zipper that has the fabric is towards the open part of my top, and I'll stitch it all the way down. I'll do the same thing for the other side and show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. So after inserting the zipper, this is what the finished product of the top looks like, and this is what it looks like in front. So this is how we end this video for today. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you learned something new. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your loved ones, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.